Let's bring in townhall.com editor Katie Pavlich. She's also a Fox News contributor. Some more bad economic news for the president. The producer price index was up 11%. And Katie, yesterday, Americans watched Democrats move at lightning speed to hold a show vote on abortion. Yet there's been no similar activity in Congress to address inflation or this looming baby formula crisis.
Yeah, if anything, John, there's been an opposite push from Congress to try and push through massive spending bills. They've been stuck on President Joe Biden's Build Back Better agenda for the end of last year. That was a bill that started at $6 trillion that Democrat Joe Manchin and Democrat Kyrsten Sinema pumped the brakes on. Imagine where we would be with inflation if that bill had passed. Now you're having the White House pressure the House and the Senate to push even more spending for COVID relief, even though a number of states haven't spent that money. So while we have this baby formula shortage, which the FDA could do more to alleviate the burden of, you're seeing Congress focused on this abortion issue. And as you noted, a show vote held yesterday that went down in flames, and publicly, very few public officials talking about this shortage that we're seeing that affects thousands, maybe millions of American families all across the country.
Well, one thing that show vote does demonstrate, though, is that Congress can move quickly when it wants to. More bad news for the president today. It appears as though he's lost the Washington Post. The Washington Post editorial board writes, quote, Biden's magical thinking on inflation continues. When it became clear that inflation would not come down on its own, the White House began a blame game. One of its favorite talking points is to pin inflation on greedy corporations for hiking prices too much. That just doesn't add up. To show voters he's on top of the problem, Mr. Biden needs to do more than blame someone else for high prices. But when he was asked the other day if he shoulders any of the blame for this, he said, no, my policies have helped, not hurt.
Well, the problem, John, is that the issue of inflation, the damage is done. So the issue, if you look at the data and when inflation really started to go up, it was after that $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan passed in February of last year. That's when inflation started to take off. When it started to show almost immediately, just 2 months after that bill was passed, the White House said it's transitory inflation. First, they said it wasn't happening, and they said it was transitory. They continued to say that. Then they tried to say it was a high-class problem, which, of course, inflation affects everybody in the country, especially the middle and lower classes. And now then they moved on to corporations being greedy, price gouging. At no point have they acknowledged that government spending and quite frankly shutting off the economy for so long as a result of COVID restrictions is why we're seeing these inflationary pressures. And quite frankly, I think Americans are looking at this before November and saying the damage is done. We're looking at who caused the inflation by pushing this government spending, and they see that not a single Republican voted for that $1.9 trillion bill, which really pushed inflation to spinning out of control.
Yeah, this is obviously hitting consumers in the pocketbook in so many ways. One of the most obvious is gasoline prices. Let's put it up on the screen. Right. Gasoline prices, according to AAA, the nationwide average now $4.41 a gallon, up from $4.24 a week ago and up from $3 from a year ago. The president keeps making releases of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, but that doesn't seem to be affecting prices much. And now we learn that the Department of the Interior canceled a planned sale of leases in Cook Inlet in Alaska. The Department of the Interior says there wasn't enough industry interest, but the Chamber of Commerce seems to disagree with that point.
Well, first, it's important to point out that the pain is the point. This is an administration that says if higher gas prices are a problem for you, you should buy an electric car. We're in a transition to alternative forms of energy, and this is just the price that Americans have to pay to get there. However, if you look at the way that energy is the complete underpinning of the economy, oil and gas, products aren't getting to the grocery store on a truck that is fueled by solar panels or even an electric truck at this point. They're getting there through the use of diesel fuel and gas. And if gas prices are $5 a gallon, that price has to be passed on to the consumer for every single good that is taken to market, which of course adds to the inflation that you're seeing in the economy. So if energy prices are high at the gas pump, prices on every single good that Americans have to purchase at the store that has to be transported to the market, that's something that's going to go up in price as well, which is why you've seen every category of basic items that Americans buy on a regular basis skyrocketing in a matter of months.
Katie, great to see you today. Thanks for kicking us off. Appreciate it.